Hey, 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 happy healing and becoming. Thank you guys so much for joining us for yet another week of healing and becoming, where y'all already know what it is. We believe in lifting as we climb, turning our trials into treasures, living a life to inspire and not impress, opening up and allowing God to fully restore us, and loving as if you have never been hurt. With that, the whole lifting as you climb. Listen, in the last 5 years in particularly, maybe 3 to 5 years, if you have not started using I ain't gonna be able to lift you, sis. I ain't gonna be able to help you.
Wow.
Whether you feel like it is something that is just hard to understand, or you feel like, I don't know about these robots taking over, wherever your mind is, I'm here to tell you that not only has AI made my business run way more fluid, it has helped me to generate more money. It has helped me to really clarify my brand, my message. And I believe, now this is just me, I believe that today's guest is going to really be able to help us. But I believe that AI is really us in just like super form. So, and I believe it's a God thing, really. I really, truly believe it's a God thing. So, without further ado, I want to bring my guest in. I want her to tell you all about her and all the amazing things that she's doing. So, without further ado, hey, sis, you have a minute?
Hey sis, you got a minute? Hey sis, you got a minute? Hey sis, you got a minute? Hey sis, you got a minute?
I do. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share on one of my favorite topics, AI. So, a little bit about me so that the audience will know the perspective that I'm bringing to the table. I am a former corporate VP. I worked in the financial services space for 25 years, managing everything from sales teams to overseeing multiple locations and driving sales performance, to leading multi-million dollar projects, supporting executives. During that time, I had an opportunity to do a lot of things. Now, like many people, I also had a passion to do my own thing. So, about halfway through my time in corporate, I realized that I wanted an outlet to be able to express myself creatively and to have a little more control over what I was able to do. So I've also been a serial entrepreneur. So I've had a number of different ventures over that time. But here's how AI comes into the picture. I actually have developed a passion for marketing. It started out in corporate, but then as an entrepreneur, I realized that ultimately the success or failure of my business depended on my ability to attract attention for both myself
Mm,
and my clients. So, believe it or not, back in 2021, there was a tool out there that many of us marketers were using. It was called Jasper AI, and it's still out there. And it was a game changer. Once I got exposed to Jasper and I realized how quickly we could create captions for Instagram, for Reels, all of these amazing things that we were able to do in literally a matter of minutes, things
mm,
that would have taken us hours and ultimately days to put together. I was like, this is a game changer. So it started for me back in 2021 with Jasper. And then as I started to continue to learn more about AI and I saw additional tools come on the scene, I realized really, really quickly that AI was going to change the world. So
mm,
in 2024, as I learned more about AI's ability to not only help on the marketing side, but to actually help drive sales, I said, this is my lane because most of my career in corporate was either in direct frontline sales or sales operations. So, how do we become more effective? And here's the thing that I found, whether it was in the corporate space or in my own business, one of the biggest challenges that we would run up against consistently is just keeping up with follow ups. We'd have
mm.
amazing conversations with people, but the reality is they're not always ready to move forward right in that moment. We would love a one call or a one meeting close, but it's actually pretty rare. So the dilemma that we would often find ourselves in is I've got this person that's right in front of me who's asked for more information. I'm having the conversation with, and then every day, my follow up list, my pipeline is continuing to grow with more people that I need to follow up with. So every day, there was this tension between the new business that's right in front of me and the follow ups that I need to make. So, what we do at Lead Reviver is we leverage AI to make that a non issue. So, we can support coaches, consultants, e-com businesses, the SaaS space. Those are the areas that we operate in most frequently. And what's common in all three of those spaces is that there are people filling out forms online. They are having discovery calls. They're doing demos, all of these things. And then the conversation goes quiet. So we
Mm.
leverage AI to be able to literally create a extension of that team to follow up on those leads either via email or text message is really effective so that we can get that person that was interested to actually book a call or to place the space. And you can imagine when you don't have to do all of that work yourself and you can literally deploy an agent that does that for you, it greatly reduces the sales cycle. And here's the most important thing, it helps to bring in more revenue. So I am a huge fan of AI for what it can do for everyone, for that from that solopreneur that's trying to make it happen all on their own to small teams to big corporations. They're all able to use AI, and I see it as a great equalizer. So I
Mm.
hope that those that are watching us, listening to us today, by the time this conversation is done, they will realize that this is your opportunity. All the things that you've wanted to do that you didn't have the time to do, if you find the right AI tool, it's going to help you to do it.
I love that. I love you using that word equalizer because that's truly the tools that I've been using. That's exactly what they have been for me as well as my VA. I know a lot of people have this fear that it's going to take away jobs for people, but what it's going, and it may, but for the right person that learns how to implement these tools, because even though I have them, I still don't have the time to implement them all. I don't have the time to learn them all. So it is that equalizer in my business. One thing I heard you say without hearing you say is the power of re-engagement. And it sounds
Mhm.
like that's what your tool really does because I mean, if I went through my I got chills just talking about it, because if I went through my email list right now, how many people have reached out to me and I
Yeah.
just have not re-engaged or we had the discovery call, we had the one-on-one session, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to," every week, part of the work that I teach my clients and the part of the work that I do is income producing activities, and
Yeah.
those lie in re-engagement. Talk to me about the power of re-engagement and how your tool does this.
Yeah, it's so, so important because the reality is that instead of us having one customer and one profile, what is really true is that we have people that are interested in what we have to offer that are at various stages of the buying cycle. So what I find is that many of us treat everyone the same.
Mm,
So we assume that everyone just needs this one more thing and then they're going to be ready to move forward. But the reality is that some people are 6 months out, some people are a year out. I don't know about you, Tamika, but I've had people literally, it's been years. The first conversation happened with them 3 and 4 years ago. And now finally they are ready to move forward. So the
mhm.
power of re engagement at its core is to say, never give up on a lead until they tell you no, it's not dead. So
Yeah.
never give up on a lead. What you instead have to do is be willing to re engage strategically, not to the point that
Mm,
you become a pest, not to a point. I've had this happen. I don't know if you had, where it's clear that it's just about getting the sale, but it's
mm,
really about re-engagement. To me, is all about relationships.
mm,
How can I maintain the relationship with that prospect that has a problem. That's ultimately what we need to recognize is the reason that they started down this path is that they have a problem. They have a problem that needs solving. They have questions that require answers. And ultimately, I have found that the person that is going to win that customer over is the one that really prioritizes maintaining that relationship. So,
Mm,
what we do at Lead Reviver is first of all, we start with relationships. So, instead of hey, I'm following up with you to see if you've made a decision on X, Y, and Z. It's, hey, just wanted to check in. We talked, a few weeks ago. Is this something that's still on your radar? So there's a
mm,
couple of things that I'm doing here. One, I'm communicating, hey, this is not out of nowhere. This is not a cold email or a cold SMS. I'm kind of ringing the bell, right? Hey, we had a conversation a few weeks ago. Here's what we talked about. And then here's the key thing. Is this something that's still on your radar? That's how you would treat someone that you really cared about. You would have a conversation. Is this still a priority for you? Is this something is now the right time for us to talk about this? So just starting with relationship and giving that prospect an opportunity to say yes, no, now is not a right time. And even if the answer is no, okay, let me just to clarify, is this a matter of timing or have you
mm,
made a decision to go another route? But again, all of this is very relational. It is not
mm,
pushing a sale or pushing a product. So it
mm,
looks a little different for every client that we work with, but the flavor that I've just given you is what everything centers around. Ringing the bell of, hey, we had a conversation before. Is this something that's still a priority for you? And then if the answer is yes, asking the right questions to see where they are in that process and how we can best help them. And if the best thing that we can do to help them is to get them on another call, then we get them scheduled for a call. If the next best thing to do is to follow up in 30 days or 60 days, then through the power of this technology, we can literally create a follow up using AI so that the AI tool knows to reach back out in 60 days. So now instead of you trying to keep up with all these things on your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar, you have a 24/7 sales agent that can work on your behalf. So that is the power of re-engagement.
Wow, I will definitely be chatting with you after this because this is so needed in my life, like today. One thing that I heard you say again without saying it is it really humanizes the process.
Yes.
And there is, like, a genuineness of it, like, it feels just as you were talking, it feels really genuine. I know with some of the AI tools that I've used, I mean, over time, I've really trained them to talk like me, so they'll say, like, "Hey, sis," like, they
Yeah.
definitely do, but there's still that robotic, feature, and it sounds like this is really it feels like it's a person to person, which I feel like although we all know in some aspect we're talking to AI, we still want it to feel like this person knows me. It's still that know, like, and trust factor is still
Yes.
key. This is
Yes.
still key. Um, there's someone that I'm thinking of, and she is a avid listener of the podcast. So I know without me even mentioning her, she is going to chuckle when she hears what I'm getting ready to ask you. But for the, faith-based believers, for
Mm.
people that are having an issue with AI for whatever reason, maybe they feel like God told them don't get on chat or whatever their issue is, how do you combine faith, intervention, and technology? Like
Yeah.
I kind of tiptoed around it in our opening, but how have you been able to do that in this business and this beautiful product that you've created?
Yeah. And see, I think the key that we have to remember is that faith is not this separate area of my life. It is a part of who I am. I don't believe in compartmentalizing my faith. So that means that if I'm involved in it, then my faith is going to be a part of the creation and the development process. And that's one of the reasons why we've invested a lot of time, effort, energy, and money in training our AI tools to be an extension of us and to really have that humanized feeling.
Mm,
Because what else would we want? When we are Christ followers, it's all
come
about
on.
relationship.
Yeah.
So the way that we do I can't say that everyone follows the same approach, but the reason that that human flavor is so important is because of my faith. I
Mm,
know that ultimately the key thing that God is calling us to do is to build relationships and to show love. And so why wouldn't I do that through how I develop my AI platform and my AI tools? So we spend a lot of time with our clients to understand, who is the person that typically reaches out to you? What is important to them? What are their goals? What are their dreams? And how does your product or service line up with that? And
mm,
again, instead of having kind of the pushy salesperson, my faith informs how we guide our AI tools to have those conversations. So
mhm,
I say that AI is no different. We often have the same conversation around money. Some people say money is the root of all evil. I say that my Bible says the love of money is
come
the
on and
root of
preach
all
that
evil.
thing.
Okay. So the same becomes true. Money can be used for good and it can be used for evil. I argue that the same is true for AI.
Yeah.
Yes, it can get in the wrong hands. It can be used for things that it never should be used for. But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's recognize that there are some good things that AI can do. And here's my charge to that believer: you should be leading the charge. That's one
Mm.
reason that I said, hey, I want into the AI space because I don't believe in sitting back and saying, well, that's something for someone else to solve. We should be modeling how to use AI for good.
Mm, that was an excellent answer. And if you look all throughout scripture, believers were involved in government, in every aspect of the world as as we live it. I believe the Bible says, be in this world, but not of it. So
Yeah.
we have to influence the things that are happening with or without our permission, with or
Yeah.
without us engaging in it. We should be at the front. So that was such a great answer. And I am seriously excited to explore more about this AI tool that you created. So, two questions. And this first question, you could say, girl, you got to go to the website and figure that out.
Okay. No, bring it
First
on.
First question is price point and if there's different tiers. And
Yeah.
then the next portion, I would really like for you just to tell the TWT family where to find you. How do we get more information? Because I know if my listeners are anything like me, and they are tingling like, okay, tell us already. Tell us, how do we find out more?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things that is really cool about what we do, Tamika, is first we spend time getting to understand the prospective client's business. So for us, it always starts with what we call a discovery audit. So often in the coaching and consulting space, it's a discovery call. For us, it's an audit because the way that we need to set up your custom AI tool, and that's really important for the audience to understand. This is not pull it out of the box and put it in your business. This is going to be one that is custom developed for you and trained to be an extension of you. So, in
Mm,
order to do that well, we need to really understand your business, not only in terms of who your ideal client is and how you like to serve them, but where are you right now? So, what type of list are we working with? How big is it? How engaged are people right now? What do open rates look like? All of those things are going to give us a sense of what the journey ahead is going to look like. So,
mhm,
that discovery audit, it actually does require quite a bit of research and digging on our part. It is a partnership. There will be some information that the prospective client will need to provide to us, and then we'll need to do some digging and some research. One of the things that's also important for the listening audience to know is that most of what we do is a done for you model. So
Mhm.
instead of giving you this long to-do list to do, it's more like, hey, give us access to this. Can you share this? And then we do the heavy lifting. So that is reflected in our pricing. So that discovery audit is $1,000 to get a sense of what the road looks like ahead of us. And that will also help us to determine what type of pricing structure we need to create. Now, the second piece of it that is really cool is that the way that we approach this is that we do a setup fee. And that's going to, again, vary depending on what that discovery audit shows us. But just to give the audience a range, it can range between $3,000 and $10,000, depending upon the size of the list and the work ahead. But then after that, we are so confident in our ability to execute for you. If we've gone through the audit, we've figured out the game plan and the strategy, and you have given us the fuel that we need to set up your custom AI bot, from there, it is a pay per performance model. So that
Mm,
means that we only get paid if you get paid. So we
mm,
put our money where our mouth is. We're not just going to, which is very common in this space, to say, here's your retainer. You'll pay us every month for 6 months and hope that something works out. We
yeah.
are committed to your success. We are your partner in this. So then, from our perspective, it's only fair that we share in the risk. And so, what really is happening is that you're paying us for doing the digging for you to understand what the problem is, to come up with the strategy, and then to build a custom AI tool that is unique to you and your business. And from there, we both win when it works. So
Mm.
that's a little background on how it works from a pricing standpoint for us. For those that are interested in learning more, I'd encourage you to visit our website at leadreviver.pro. You can also follow me on LinkedIn. That is the platform where most of the conversations around this tool and around AI happen. You can find me there as Tamara Jackson. And I look forward to supporting you in, even if it's just asking and you asking a question and understanding what could this look like for our business. So on our website, on the contact us page, there is a link where you can book just a 20-minute chat. So maybe you're not quite ready yet. You're not sure what this is going to look like for you. You might not yet be at a point where you're ready to do that audit, but maybe you have some initial questions that we can answer for you to see if there is a potential benefit for your business. You can schedule that call absolutely free. So visit us at leadreviver.pro, click that contact link, book a call, and let's talk about how we can use AI to drive sales in your business.
I love that. All of her information will be in the show notes. So I want you guys to go run over there and book that call. You don't, one of my sayings that I have been saying, I've heard it somewhere, I don't know where I heard it, but I have been saying it. You don't know what you don't know. So until you investigate, until you invest in what you need in your business, you won't know the possibilities. And I believe that we are sitting in a God can do anything season. I believe that we're sitting in a all things are possible to him that believe. So if you believe that God has given you this business, if you believe that you are called to multi-millions, if you believe that you are called to reach the masses, why not use the tools that God is giving to other believers to hand over to us to make it possible? Thank you so
Sure.
much for your time, for your wisdom. Thank you for spending this Tuesday with us. Any last words for our audience?
Yeah, I would just I want to say, because one of the words that you use that I think is really, really important here is investment. This
Mhm.
is an investment in your business, not only where it is today, but where you want it to go. And the reality is that in order for you to reach the goals, in order to realize the dream that is in your heart, your team, whether it's just you or you have a team of five, it cannot stay where it is. But here's the reality. Sometimes there is a gap. You know that you might need some additional help, but maybe not all of the numbers are quite lining up for you to hire an additional person full time. What many people use us for is to bridge that gap, because
Mhm.
now you're not spending 20, 30, $40,000 to bring somebody on to handle this for you. You're able to work with us. we get paid when you get paid. When you really think about it, this, the money that you're investing in setup and strategy pales in comparison to what you would have to pay someone to work on this in your business. And so this could be that missing link, that missing piece that you have been looking for. So
Mm,
if you're listening to me and you're thinking, yeah, but I don't know, have the conversation,
mm.
explore the opportunity, because it could just be that thing that you need to get to that next level. You're still going to need to hire people, you're still going to need to grow. But what if this can be the thing that helps you to get there?
Definitely. Feels like a win-win to me. So I love that. TWT family, thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember to share this podcast. Share this with your business bestie. Share it with your sister friend that has been thinking about starting a business. Share this to 5 people. It has been said and proven that we are the sum total of the 5 people that we spend our time with. So, information like this, when we share it, we all grow, we all expand. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on this video. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. Both of our informations will be in the show notes. Until next week, bye bye. Isaiah 57, and it says 57:1, it says, good people go before their time. That has shipped. Talk about identity. Talk about identity work that God has been doing. Because I have held on to, I am the mother of a child that unfortunately died early. And God's like, no, I took her because you don't know what she was going to face, but I knew. So I protected her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that changes my perspective. But with premature babies, here's also what I know about God. A lot of the things that he teaches us through our trials, they have a dual meaning. So when Moses was born at 26 weeks, he was 3.5 months early. He was so early, so premature, so sick, so little. God taught me that he was a healer. That was the first time I like, oh my God, you're a healer. I know that you can heal. 24 years later, God is teaching me that when things are done prematurely, 3 things happen. Two things happen: delay and death. So he couldn't teach me that when Moses was born. Because if he would have told me, Tamika, because this was premature, it's delay and death, I would have lost it. He just wanted me to know I'm a healer. But 24 years later, on the other side of my premature baby, I'm now able to see delay and death. So for those of you that are doing things prematurely, moving ahead of God, consider, just consider. And this could be in all the things, in a relationship that you're considering, a business venture that you're considering, a church that you're considering to join. Consider, is this God? Have you sat with him, as my good sis Cara said? Have you listened to him? Have you gotten his instruction? Or are you moving prematurely? Because only 2 things can happen when you move prematurely.
That is powerful.
This was so good. I
It
feel
was.
like
I'm
just
like, so
the
much wisdom. So much wisdom.
so much wisdom. This is a conversation that I feel like will be repeated, or we will have on other platforms and other ways. How can
Absolutely.
people get in contact with you?
So, you can actually go. I'm like, I am the same handle on everything that I interact with. It's Cara Janae Shine. My name is spelled a little differently, so if it's okay, I'll spell it out. It's CharaJaneShine. And that's on every platform. That's also my website, carajanaeshine.com, where you can grab a freebie if you're looking to start moving from behind the scenes and start stepping into the light that God has already given you and start shining it fully. And then I'm just like so excited, like so excited that we finally connected. Please, I'm like, make sure that you share yours too for my audience because I would love for them to connect with you.
Yes, and mine is very simple too. Well, actually, I just changed it. I just changed my IG handle to the Coach Tamika, but it's Tamika Thomas everywhere. But I was like, listen, I gotta step up. It's been Tamika Thomas, and that's great. I love who my name, that God is like, no, you are the coach. And I was like, okay, let me be the coach then. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the Coach Tamika Tuesday with Tamika.com everywhere. And I am so excited. I know a lot of our audiences intertwines and interlocks. But if you are following me from Kara's audience, please DM me the word, just DM me her name, and I'll also send you a freebie. All of our information will be in both of our podcast show notes for you to connect with us. I know that I'm not for everybody. So maybe you heard Kara's voice and it unlocks something inside of you. And I say, listen, she is vetted. She is the real deal. Go follow her, go listen, go consume her podcast. What's the name of your podcast?
My podcast is called the Bold Becomers Podcast.
Yes. Y'all see that play? Y'all see how we did that? The Bold Becomers podcast. So you guys make sure the link to her podcast will also be in the show notes. She produces beautiful God centered content. And I want all of you guys to be able to go and just listen. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please remember to rate and leave a review. We want to hear from you. If you are watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Share this with some other people. What I know is that when we are in community of like-minded people, this is when we are able to unarmor. This is when we're able to relearn, unlearn, and be, do, and have everything that God has for us. Any last words, Kara?
Listen, I'm like, I always close out my podcast a certain way, but if I could leave you with any encouragement, don't stop pursuing what God has birthed in you and just know the work that He started in you, He will complete in you.
Amen. Love you guys. Until next week. Bye bye.